like undertones, like why would I ever make that? And it's set up like
Then it would have been in his pocket. He had to hide it from the girl. He was making her dinner.
Good afternoon. Welcome inside ATI Field. I guess it's still the afternoon. We're kind of stretching into the evening hours now for some St. Francis women's soccer. Luke Tanaka here. Glad to have you alongside for this edition of St. Francis women's soccer on GoFightingSaints.com as the Saints take on the Cougars of St. Xavier University in a CCAC matchup. Coming off of a thrilling win for the St. Francis men's soccer team over St. Xavier, Dan Cross getting a win over his alma mater. You see St. Francis head coach on the men's side, and it's got to feel real good for Dan Cross to stick it to his alma mater in earlier action today. A 2-1 come from behind victory for the Saints. Not only that, but it pushes USF's win total in conference to 2, which is 2 more than they've had in the last 3 years, pretty much. The last time they won a conference game before defeated Calumet St. Joe on the road earlier this week was 2014. A great win for the Saints today against St. Xavier, and they will try to push their conference mark to 3-0 this coming week when they take on Olivet Nazarene. This part of a home stretch for both soccer teams, as the Saints women and the Saints men will host their next 3 consecutive games. Here's a play for Olivia De La Rosa. She rolls a shot that goes all the way to Carly Bledsoe, the keeper for St. Xavier. It is a scorching hot day and a steamy day at that here at ATI Field. It's the day you would have expected in the first game or so of the year on August 26th when the Saints hosted a triple header of action. So we're just paying for that 70-degree day now with a warm 95. At least that's what it was at the start of the men's game. Haven't checked since, but have to imagine it's in the 90s. Humidity is up. That makes for some serious sweat coming down all around the Joliet Memorial Stadium today. In game 1, the action on the field matched the heat of the 90-plus degree temperatures. As I mentioned before, USF beat St. Xavier 2-1. Dan Cross's first win against his alma mater. Saints now 4-3-1 on the year, 2-0 in conference play. Cougars actually scored first. Caden Patton took a run from the midfield and then sent a pass wide to Michael Gutierrez, and another nice one-touch pass to the middle. Was able to convert on St. Xavier's goal in the game. USF had a great chance to even the match right before halftime, but a really nice save from Frank Valley, the St. Xavier goalkeeper, was able to keep the game level keep St. Xavier out in front at that point. And it was a 1-0 lead for St. X into halftime. USF leveled in the 63rd minute. It was Joshua Yemen who weaved through some defenders and then blasted a shot inside the left post for his second goal of the year. And then the Saints' first lead of the game came in the 77th minute. Calvin Lovu went on a long run and found an opening. He took a shot that was initially saved by Valley, but then the rebound came towards the left post, and Johnny on the spot, or in this case Anthony on the spot, Anthony Scripp, buried the shot inside the near post. Saints took a 2-1 lead, and despite playing with 10 men for the final 10 minutes of the contest, USF was able to take the victory. Carlos Ferrer-Cotto earned the win in goal, playing all 90 minutes for the Saints. He made a diving stop to keep the Saints in front. And right after the Saints took the lead at 2-1, and he made a couple of real nice saves in that game.
Well, there was a lot of different games at one in St. Louis. You know, Saints were running games.
Looks like we have a foul on St. Francis here. I will set up St. Xavier for a free kick from the near side. This is number 27, Dana Hamden. The defender, the freshman, will take this one, looping it towards the upper part on the far side of the box. Headed down and popped up shot towards Keeley, the keeper, and she will corral it easily. Hannah Griesner with the shot. First shot, or excuse me, second shot at today's game, and both have been saved so far. We are scoreless here early in the first half. Saints and Cougars. Grace McDermott, long run on the far side, but she has her attempt blocked. St. Francis coming into this game 5-2-1 on the season, 1-0 in CCAC play after a 2-0 win over Calumet St. Joe on the road last week. St. Xavier coming off their first victory of the year. They started 0-4-2, but defeated their first CCAC foe. I believe it was Holy Cross, team that they beat earlier this week. They are now 1-4-2 on the year and 1-0 in the conference. So despite the big flip in records overall, the big deal, the conference standings level between these two teams coming into this game.
Yeah, you do, because you tried to trade us. No. Yeah, that was before the season even started. No, I know he was going to get a bunch of
Rob's team just was like great.
We'll get to the starting lineups here in just a bit as well. And as I mentioned, got to still be at least in the 80s, if not the 90s here at ATI Field. An unseasonably warm second day of fall. Summer is getting its last revenge here today. So I have to imagine we'll see a water break or two, or even three perhaps. We saw two in the men's game, although that second half was a long one. That was a 2-hour and 12-minute regulation soccer game that we just saw. A lot of stoppages in the last 10 minutes, and that kind of kept the players fresh for the most part. Of course, as fresh as you could be on a day like today. Regardless, Saints come away with the win and are now 2-0 in conference play on the men's side.
They put enough in so like they could have that money to go out.
And now we'll get to the starting lineups here. About 9 minutes into the contest is for the Fighting Saints. It's Jessica Keeley in goal. 5'11" senior from Wheaton, starting as number 0 and wearing her yellow jersey today with gray shorts. St. Francis in their white uniforms all the way down, brown numbers. St. Xavier, red unis, white numbers. Pretty straightforward for both teams. Looks like a blue jersey for the keeper on the opposing side, Carly Bledsoe, who also wears single 0 as her name. It's her number, excuse me. Olivia De La Rosa, number 2, starts at forward for the Saints. Olivia Hollander, a midfielder, number 3. Carly Draheim, another midfielder. She wears number 5. Brittany Cook, playing left back for the Saints, wearing number 6. Here's Kelly Petrowski, sweeping a ball across the face of goal, but well off of the goal at the top of the box, and it'll be a throw-in for St. Xavier near side. Grace McDermott plays defense as well. She plays right back. Brittany Cook thought she had the throw-in, but didn't think that was a close call. I believe it was pretty obviously St. Xavier ball near side. But St. Francis takes it right back. Here's Casey Harris playing a ball towards De La Rosa in the middle, but it'll roll all the way to Bledsoe. Easy pickup for her. Brenda Estrada and Kiki Estrada, sisters in the lineup today. Brenda gets a touch there. She wears number 16, Kiki Estrada, one of the center backs, along with Camille Papalera, number 19 and 20, respectively. And rounding out the starting lineup for John Niksevich, Kelly Petrowski, number 32, a forward, and then Casey Harris, midfielder, number 43. Here's Harris playing a ball up for De La Rosa. Back to Harris. And that touch a little too far, swept away by St. Xavier. Surprised De La Rosa didn't try to take a turn there. Looked like she had a pretty nice chance at a one-on-one. Instead, it will be St. Xavier on a throw-in near side. No score here, early first half, Saints and Cougars. I apologize for the lack of scoreboard there on the YouTube feed, but promise we'll get that figured out for the next game. For some reason, just doesn't want to show up today. Hopefully we can get that figured out by Tuesday. That's when the next game will be. Right here at ATI Field, Olivet Nazarene comes to town, facing off against the women on Tuesday, the men on Wednesday, both 7 o'clock starts, and we'll have the broadcast for you here. Get the soothing voice of Terry Bonadana on the call for the first one. And then Matt Schumacher will be on the call for the Wednesday game. Terry will be checking in on the volleyball team as they host Purdue Northwest at the Sullivan Center. Now the starting lineup for the Cougars. Carly Bledsoe in goal, number 0, a junior from Franklin, Tennessee, getting the start today. Hannah Bresner, the midfielder, and a senior from Streeter, Illinois, wears number 3. De La Rosa looking ahead, cleared away by St. X, near side. Petrowski keeps it in, right in front of the bench, full of red jerseys. Hollander plays back for Papalera, and the Saints will be content to hold possession here in the middle of the field. Number 4, Brooke Majorich, also starting for St. Xavier, along with Abigail Pepin and Adriana Hernandez. All 3 of them playing in the midfield today. Dalila Alcala, number 9, is a junior from Blue Island. She starts. Jillian Doan, number 10, also in the starting lineup for the Cougars, along with number 11, Alyssa Gilman, number 13, Hannah Armstrong, number 19, Taja Thomas, and number 21, Dana Hamden. All starting for St. Xavier as well. Head coach Evan Straylau with the starting lineup today. Brenda Estrada plays up for De La Rosa. Seems like the Saints have held possession for much of the opening, about 14 minutes or so, but St. X actually has the lead, 2 shots to 1 so far. De La Rosa down the near sideline looking for some help. Tackled away, and then De La Rosa goes down and a little unhappy with the way that number 9, Dalila Alcala, was defending. And we're going to get a stern talking to here. And it's going to be a foul on St. Xavier, which gives the chance for St. Francis. That's And it's a one-hopper right to Bledsoe, who plays it easily. Two shots apiece, all 4 in the game on goal so far, and the keepers have been up to the task each time. No score here in just about the 15th minute of action between St. Xavier and St. Francis.
I do that a lot. It's fun. It's right here.
Now St. X trying to get some offense going. Cook unable to get the ball away from the attacker, but McDermott was there to sweep away from the other side. Continuing with that, or I believe we did actually get through the starting lineup for St. Xavier today, so excuse me on that. Thought we got cut off somewhere in there, but apparently I was actually able to get through the whole thing. Kiki Estrada, the defender, dribbling towards the middle, blasts one up for De La Rosa, knocks it down with her midsection, but it is cleared away by the St. Xavier defense.
Before you kick it.
St. Xavier 1-4-2 on the year. USF at a solid 5-2-1. So far this year, the Saints defeated Cleary to open up the season. That was on a cool day for August 26th. It was a gorgeous day here at ATI Field for some soccer. 2-1, the victory over Cleary. In September, then the Saints tied Aquinas here at home. A 0-0 draw there. Then the next day, the Saints came back from a 2-0 deficit to defeat Cornerstone 3-2 and suffer their first loss of the year. One of only 2 so far on the season for the Saints, as that one rolls all the way to Keeley. She plays it with ease. A loss to NCAA Division II Davenport, 2-0. Saints then came back and beat Clark, another come-from-behind victory. McDermott trying to get there first, she does. Nicely done by the defender, and then she sends it towards the banner on the far side, the bleachers. And it'll be a throw-in for the Cougars. Last time I was on a broadcast, I believe it was the Saints and the Saints. At least I know that was one time this year, and we've seen that a couple of times. We've seen the football team actually twice. Today they lost to the Saints. Saints losing to the Saints 34-16. St. Francis falling to Siena Heights on the road in Adrian, Michigan. The USF women's soccer team played the Aquinas Saints earlier this year here at home, and that was the 0-0 draw I was talking to you about earlier. And then the football team also played St. Francis, Indiana. Keeley gobbles that one up. Another shot, another save. 6 shots total, 3 apiece, and 3 saves for each keeper. 1 foul charged to each team thus far in the game. Pretty simple saves for each of the keeper. That looked like a handball. Maybe they're going to call it incidental contact. And it's taken away by St. Xavier. Get to our officials today. Marwin Zane controlling the middle. Trey McClure and George Gowie. Gowie was in the middle, and Zane also refereeing the first game today, so major props to them for their ability to ref 2 games on a day like today where it is steamy. Luckily the sun has all but set. all shade down on the field of play, and Olivia Hollander will get a chance to boot this one ahead just on her side of midfield. Didn't end up going all the way through the schedule the Saints have played, but they lost to Davenport on the 8th. We mentioned that one. That was the first loss of the year for St. Francis. Bounced back to defeat Clark after trailing 1-0, and that's been a bit of an MO for the Saints early in the season. They've been much better starting games in the last two, but the Saints fell behind in the majority of their early games, including, I believe, they fell behind Cleary as well in a 2-1 win, fell behind Cornerstone, a 3-2 win, and then fell behind Clark and ended up winning 3-1. Very strong second halves in all three of those games. Then a loss to Huntington, a heartbreaker, goal with not much time left on the clock. I believe just over a minute left. Huntington was able to bury the game winner for a 3-2 result. Second loss of the season for St. Francis. Then, since then, 2 consecutive shutouts. A win in Oakland City in which Kelly Petrowski, who has the ball now and kicks it to the far side, scored the game-winning goal with under a minute to play in a 1-0 win. And then a 2-0 win over Calumet St. Joe on Thursday. The game originally scheduled for Wednesday was rescheduled for Thursday. We will have, I believe, 2 water breaks during this game as well. We had a couple during the men's game, and with the heat, I think that's just smart. That's just player safety there, very smart. So we should be ticking down to pretty close to that at this point. De La Rosa tries a cross. It'll win a corner for the Saints. It'll be there first. Harris will take the corner, and the corner kick was what was so effective against Huntington. Both of St. Francis' goals came off corner kicks. That was when Draheim ran to the near side and then was able to redirect one in, and here she comes, running towards the near side. Kick comes in and is away by St. Xavier, a little off the target, Draheim. She was deflecting balls at the near post, and that opened up opportunities at the far post, and that's how the Saints scored both goals against Huntington. An eventual 3-2 loss. Nice move by Petrowski. She gets a step on a defender. Petrowski sends one to the middle for De La Rosa. Takes one touch. Ooh, that touch just a little too far. And it's played back for Draheim, who goes down just barely in the box. Hollander then hits a one-hopper all the way to Bledsoe. Again, another easy save for a keeper in today's game. So the Saints 5-2-1 on the year, 1-0 in conference, looking to assert themselves at the top of the CCAC. That ball played in, and Petrowski was offside. It's a blast by Kiki Estrada. I think De La Rosa got a touch there, but it's played back to Bledsoe, and she easily handles it. Let's see if they're going to take a water break right now. It would be about the time, so perhaps they will decide to play through. Have not heard any official word as to whether there will or won't be a water break today. Usually happens about halfway through each half. Kelly Petrowski playing for Kiki Estrada, and back for Papalera. Saints have played 3 keepers so far this year. Jessica Keeley, Bethany Domkowski, and Ellie Provo. Domkowski and Keeley, both seniors. Domkowski started the year as a starter. Keeley recovering and was able to come back right about 3 games into the year, and Keeley has since asserted herself as a very strong option in net. Provo hasn't given up a goal, but she's only played 2 games, started 1. She does have 1 shutout to her credit. Domkowski has played in 6 games and started 5, and has a 1.15 goals against average and 26 saves. Certainly the most time in net, a 3-1-1 record. And then Jessica Keeley has played in 4 games, started 2, has a goals against average just below 1.5. And a 1-1 overall record for her. Here's Brenda Estrada blasting one from 45 yards out. simple save for Bledsoe. Looks like we will have our first sub here shortly. Carolina Selby wants to check in for St. Xavier. St. Francis is not the deepest bench this year, but hasn't affected them so far this season. We'll see if the heat plays a role today. Alejandro Alonso is actually scratched from the starting lineup today, replaced by Olivia Hollander. No word on why, but I assume we'll still see Alonso today. Estrada, it's Brenda, plays it ahead for Draheim. But that ball is going to roll all the way over, which line? The end line. It'll be a goal kick for Bledsoe, and we're going to stop the clock, as I believe that will be our water break. So we'll take a quick timeout, 19:51 to go here in the first half. You're watching St. Francis Women's Soccer. Back at ATI Field, and it looks like water break is over and we're ready to get underway. Once again, 19:51 or so to play in the first half, and we're still scoreless, St. Francis and St. Xavier. So far, 5 shots for USF, 5 saves for Bledsoe, and in all reality, none of them have been particularly difficult for either goalkeeper. We have 8 shots on goal in the game, so St. Xavier has 3 shots and 8 saves. Every shot has been a shot on goal, but really every shot has been from distance so far. Just had a foul in the middle of the field on St. Francis, so in their own defensive half, it'll be a free kick for St. X. Some updates from around St. Francis athletics today. The football team lost to Siena Heights 34-16. Jordan Smith ran for 104 yards. Lexus Jackson totaled 100 receiving yards from Don Butkus, who had 235 on the day and a score. As this ball is played towards the middle, dangerously bouncing around in the box. Chance for St. Xavier, and that shot shanked. Another shot attempt blocked, and the third attempt is wide. Solid attempts there for St. Xavier. 3 shots in that sequence, but none of them able to find the net. Keeley all over it, and the defense played very well for St. Francis, not even allowing any of those shots on goal, despite it being inside the 18-yard box. Crashing of bodies in the middle of the field. Foul on St. Xavier will give St. Francis a free kick just on the offensive half of the field. Under 18 minutes to play, still scoreless. 6 shots to 5 now in favor of St. Xavier after that 3-shot barrage just a moment ago. Hollander lays into one, and it's blasted away but a throw-in coming for St. Francis. And now a goal kick for Bledsoe. Carly Draheim knocks a player off the ball, and Brenda Estrada has some room to the far side. McDermott's to her right instead. Nice pass for De La Rosa. Chip back looking for Harris. She comes to the ball, gets a touch, but not a clean one. And a whistle and a foul on St. X gives St. Francis a chance. Now this is about 40 yards out. Casey Harris, she has the ability to score from distance. This one would probably be pushing it just a bit. 16 minutes to go, first half, scoreless. Harris tries to score, one hopper right to Bledsoe. And a pretty simple save for Carly Bledsoe. That is her 6th of the day already. 6 shots apiece. Jessica Keeley has 3 saves for St. Francis. Bledsoe has had to save all 6 of St. Francis' shots at this point. Now a shot, ooh, and a nice diving save by Bledsoe. And I think that was a little smile cracked by De La Rosa, who absolutely crushed that shot attempt. And that was the first real good scoring chance of the day for either team. And a heck of a play by Bledsoe. Make sure that one did not find the back of the net.
They'll take any money they can get. Now Tuesday.
Ball played to the middle of the field. That's Brenda Estrada. Estrada playing pretty much the role of point guard so far today. De La Rosa brings it down, and I think they're going to call a handball on De La Rosa. So it'll be a free kick. And it was called by the far side official. I think that's Gowie. Just used a little too much of that arm to gain control of that ball. Trying to play the ball ahead into the offensive half, but it's deflected away. Estrada was there. Now she lays into one near side, looking for Petrowski. Petrowski does indeed bring it down, hounded by one of the St. Xavier defenders. Petrowski looks for Cook and out of bounds into the St. Xavier bench. Throw in coming.
Feel it a little bit?
Oh, good. Oh, it's coming back to you? Oh, yeah.
A whistle, and St. Francis with a chance to perhaps get something going offensively here. Draheim with the quick restart, sends it in, streaking in Harris, and it's going to bounce all the way into the goal. Carly Draheim on the free kick, and the keeper, they're going to say Harris got a touch on that one. I didn't see it, but maybe she deflected it just a little bit, and that's a goal for Harris. For Harris, that's her 5th of the year, and Draheim gets the assist. 1-0, St. Francis. Now St. X trying to bounce right back, and they will win a quarter here. Corner kick coming. There are a lot of bodies in the box right now as that one curls towards the near side, headed back in towards goal and hit away by Casey Harris. Now a blast that will end up well over the goal. That last one came from Hannah Armstrong. Ball sent away by Jessica Keeley. Under 12 minutes to play, and St. Francis has a 1-0 advantage. Sent in, headed up into the air by somebody, and then away by Harris. Now a chance on the counter for St. Francis, but that touch by De La Rosa, a little too close to the defender, intended for Harris. 11 minutes to play here in the first half. Saints have a 1-0 lead. Harris from Draheim on a free kick from the near side. Draheim this time brings it down in the box, looking for options. Plays back, Hollander, well too high. If it was a field goal, would have been good, but that is well too high of the goal today. Just unable to get on top of that bouncing pass. Now St. Xavier trying to get something going offensively, but that cross is well wide from Abigail Pepin. Keeley opts to keep it in play just outside of her box, and nobody will apply pressure for St. Xavier. Trying to perhaps conserve some energy here today. Ball goes all the way over the end line, and a goal kick coming for Keeley. St. Xavier trying to bounce back and tie this game. Under 9 minutes to play in the first half. They've had 7 shots already. Pretty open contest so far, 16 shots, but really there have only been about 2 or 3 good scoring chances. This could be one of them, but Kiki Estrada says no, it will not be. Takes the ball away. Draheim running after it, but that one will be collected by Hamden instead and sent down the near sideline. Estrada once again with a nice hustle play to head that ball back towards the offensive half, but it goes over the near sideline. St. Francis 1, St. Xavier nothing. It was the Casey Harris redirect off Carly Draheim. Free kick. That put the Saints ahead 1-0.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I thought it was a redirect.
Throw in coming, headed down by Estrada. Played into the middle of the field. Draheim sweeps it up for Petrowski, who plays it down nicely. Up for De La Rosa, lets it go by. Can her speed get there first? De La Rosa is going to get the first touch, and she'll win a corner for the Fighting Saints. Nice job by De La Rosa there. It'll be Harris again, and St. Francis very dangerous on corner kick attempts. See if that same play they run to the near post. Draheim, here she comes, running. Harris times it up, blasts it towards the middle of the box. Draheim not able to get there. And the ball is played all the way to the near side. Brittany Cook, and just realized St. Francis has not subbed yet here in this first half, so see if St. Xavier tries to take advantage of that. St. Xavier, on the other hand, has only made one sub, so it's not like they've been rotating players in and out like nobody's business. But still, 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the first half on a day as warm as this one. You have to wonder how the legs will be feeling come later in this game. And we have a whistle. I think a handball was called on St. Xavier. It'll be St. Francis free kick near side. Harris plays this ball all the way up towards the end line, tries to get a cross in, and another corner coming for the Fighting Saints. This will be their third, and this one it looks like is going to be Draheim instead. The last two, and normally taken by Harris, but it looks like right side corner is being taken this time by Carly Draheim. Second corner in as many minutes. This is a good looking ball, but nobody's home for the Saints in the middle of the box. Headed away by St. Xavier, still in a dangerous area. And eventually Brenda Estrada will be called for being just a little too aggressive.
This will be the third one. I'm 100%. No, I should get it over with.
Now another chance perhaps for the Saints. Kelly Petrowski on the right edge of the box. Looking for some options. McDermott, pass to the middle, Draheim. And that one a little too far, intended for Harris. But Kiki Estrada is there. Estrada off her back line. Harris, and eventually gobbled up by a red shirt and sent away. And a free kick coming. For Bledsoe of St. Xavier. Just under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Saints leading 1-0 on the goal by Casey Harris, assisted by Carly Draheim. Ball played up the near side. That's Alyssa Gilman. Gilman looking back. Adriana Hernandez, far side. I think that was a cross sent in that was blocked by Brenda Estrada, but St. Xavier still with a chance in the box. Grace McDermott playing some solid defense at right back, sends it away. Ball cleared near side. And a shot is blocked. Dana Hamden with that shot, but St. Francis defender right there. Saints leading 1-0, under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Just saved off the near sideline, played up for De La Rosa, but blasted away by the St. Xavier defense. Down goes Kiki Estrada, and that'll be a whistle and a foul on St. Xavier on the approach there. Final 2 minutes of the first half. And we'll have our first sub of the day. Brenda Estrada will take a seat. I did not see who came in, but I'll continue to search until I do find that person. I do believe I have identified the person. It is Sarah Heimberg. Excuse me on missing that. I did not see the person check in. Ticking down to about 1 minute to play here in the first half. De La Rosa will win a throw-in on the near side. Harris to throw it in. Saints leading 9 shots to 8 so far. That one played all the way to Bledsoe. And a bouncing ball, she will send it away with less than a minute to play. 1-0 Saints. Ball bouncing all the way to the back line of St. Francis. And then off the back heel of Kelly Petrowski. It was an interesting little move there, but nobody was home in the middle of the field. So here come the Cougars, and they may be content just to take this 1-0 deficit into the locker room. Just 30 seconds to go. Time is of the essence if you want to create an offensive chance before that clock expires. Doesn't look like either team is going to be able to do so. Saints outshoot St. Xavier 9-8 here in the first half. 8 of the 9 St. Francis shots were on goal. 7 saves made by Bledsoe, 3 saves by Jessica Keeley. 6 fouls apiece, 3 quarters USF, 1 for St. Xavier. As the clock runs out here in the first half, 1-0 the lead for St. Francis. 15 minutes before we start the second half here in Joliet. 1-0 USF. back underway here at HCI Field. 1-0, St. Francis leads. Here in women's soccer action in the CCAC. We just got word that mentioned, if you missed it, the St. Francis men's team defeated St. Xavier by a score of 2-1. It was the first win against St. Xavier in men's soccer for St. Francis since September 19, 2001. That is a heck of a win for the St. Francis men's soccer team. And much props to them. I must say that was a great win all around, and the Saints, who hadn't won a conference game since 2014, have already won 2 this season.
And then they take back and get back, then you can get international. Chase is awesome. Yeah. But man, you're supposed to.
I do. I check my report.
It looks like the game-winning goal from Anthony Scripp has already made its way onto Instagram. And congrats to the entire program. Dan Cross, I'm sure, especially ecstatic with St. Xavier being his alma mater. Anthony Scripp, game winner, off the shot from Kelvin and Lovu. That was saved, but the rebound to Scripp, and I mean, he could not have hit a better shot inside that near post. Here in this game now, transitioning to this one. I know it was an exciting men's game, but we got an exciting women's game on hand right now as well. The Saints of St. Francis lead the Cougars of St. Xavier by a score of 1-0, and it was Carly Dreheim with the free kick goal. And it looked like Casey Harris was going to redirect it. Turns out she didn't, so Dreheim with the goal. Foul on St. Francis, middle of the field. And that ball just bounced. I think the keeper, Bledsoe, thought that the ball was going to go off of Harris, and so she moved another way. Here's a header shot that ends up being wide from St. Xavier. Good opportunity for St. X, probably one of their best of the game to this point, but it goes just wide of the right post there. Teams relatively even here in this one in terms of first half shots. That was the 9th shot of the day for St. X, and now the teams are equal, and they have split the 18 shots. But that could not be for very long. Here's Dreheim with a chance. Dreheim looking to cut to the inside, but there are 3 or 4 red jerseys in the area, and eventually it is blasted away. 7th. So the teams so far have split the 14 fouls. They've split the 18 shots. St. Xavier's Bledsoe has 7 saves to her credit. 3 saves for USF's Jessica Keeley, who is also playing here in this second half. Her and Domkowski split the game against Calumet St. Joseph. Make sure to correct that on the stats online. Currently showing Domkowski playing all 90 minutes.
I got a little jacket thing.
Get that fixed sometime tonight after today's game. Day has indeed turned into night here at Joliet. It's 7:26 local time. Days are getting shorter, and that last light is coming out around now 7 o'clock or so. A stark contrast, obviously, from what it was not just a couple of months ago. Up to the far side. Blasted towards goal, but bouncing all the way to Jessica Keeley. A fairly routine play for the St. Francis goalkeeper.
I literally know how to be dark. I don't know where Carter is. He's over across the field. Okay, I see you running. I can see, I know where
There's a wild crowd over there because when I go, then I go over here and go, oh.
Throw in play to Petrowski, who sends it towards the middle. St. Xavier defense is there and defends well. And a corner coming for St. Francis here.
I can't keep my hand. I can't turn my head.
Don't do it. Well, then, yeah, well, then turn this way.
Harris will be the one to take this one.
I'll show you.
That's what I have to do, just like watch.
I'll show you the new play. Don't worry.
Harris sends a high arcing kick towards the far post, and it looked like somebody was there for the Saints. I think that was Brittany Cook coming all the way in from her left back position, but she was unable to get a touch. Saints throw in far side. Another corner coming, this time Draheim. For St. Francis, this will be the 5th corner of the day, curling towards the far post, or near post, excuse me, and Bledsoe is there to punch it away. Very nice play by Bledsoe, the keeper for St. X. And Papalera will keep it in the offensive third here. The back line pressed forward. Up to De La Rosa from McDermott. De La Rosa. Oh, I think it hit the post, and it actually hit the wheel on the side of the goal. Wait, let's see what the call was. I thought that hit the wheel on the side of the goal, and therefore it is out of play. One of the St. Xavier players just flat out picked it up, and bench was for St. Francis was looking for a handball and a penalty kick, but that was not the case on that one, as it hit the wheel and came back into play, and therefore it was indeed out of play. De La Rosa, long run for this one, and it's played off of her for a goal kick coming for St. Xavier. St. Xavier looking to tie the score. 9 minutes into the second half. Saints have the lead. Here's Harris, long shot. Ooh, nice save, Bledsoe. Wow, can Casey Harris ever unload from deep? That was a heck of a shot. And Bledsoe does well just to steer it away, and a corner chance for St. Francis coming. She could play it short to Estrada. Instead, she rolls one towards the near post, and we're all the way across the face of goal, still in a dangerous area, and it's eventually blasted away by St. Xavier. Oh, man, what a great chance for St. Francis there. That ball was hanging out just feet from the goal for what seemed like an eternity if you're a St. Xavier fan. And eventually it was cleared away by the defense. St. Francis with a golden opportunity to go up 2-0 here in this one. Instead, it's still 1-0 on Carly Draheim's goal in the first half. Estrada, not very convincing on that one. Keeley coming out, charging, and she clears. And Keeley does a nice job of getting off her line to come out and drill that one away. Jessica Keeley on the year, a goals against average now well under 1.5. 15 saves coming into this game. She has 19 now on the year, and I believe she has a couple of more once we fix that second half against Calumet St. Joseph, which we will do tonight. So Keeley, a very solid performance, a senior out of Wheaton. And a nice job of getting out for that one. She will get credit for a save there, but it is essentially saving a goal-scoring opportunity. Off the free kick from St. Xavier, far side, good-looking header, but it's steered wide. Now played back in by another Cougar and the Saints, and McDermott cleared away. Clear attempt, or excuse me, cross attempt blocked. Another throw-in coming for St. X. Not a far drive for the Cougars out of Chicago. Nice rivalry going on between these two schools, these two programs. Here's De La Rosa up to Harris, flicked on for Petrowski. Not played very well by the defense, but blasted away. I think there's a handball in there somewhere, and that'll be a free kick for St. Francis coming up. On the field for St. Francis, on the back line, Papalera, McDermott, Kiki Estrada, and Brittany Cook. In the midfield, Brenda Estrada, Casey Harris, Carly Dreheim, and Olivia Hollander. And then up front, De La Rosa and Petrowski. Same starting 11 that the Saints had to open this contest. Looks like Martina Katurba is getting loose on the near side. We did not see her in the first half. Interesting to see if she comes in. She's grabbing a penny. Here's a shot from Dreheim that ends up well high and wide. And it looks like they're going to bring on Katurba right away. So first time we've seen Martina Katurba. Petrowski will come off. St. Francis looking to move to 2-0 in conference play with a win today if they can hold on for the next 32 minutes and 30 seconds with their 1-0 advantage. Had a great chance to go up 2-0, but just unable to put it in. Second throw-in attempt now for St. Xavier in a row. Trying to play this ball into the middle to get a shot off. Couple of Saints defenders to converge. Now two run into each other, and Harris just has to blast it away near side. And tried the same play again. Papalera almost fell down as the defender, and it looks like a foul will be charged to St. Xavier's Adriana Hernandez, and Keeley will get a chance to blast one away. 12 shots to 10 in favor of St. Francis so far in this one. 9 shots on goal, just 4 for the Cougars. And of course the 1 goal to their credit as well. 2-0 lead about 14 minutes into the second half. Casey Harris, long run near side, has some room. She can hit from distance. Sets a low cross to the middle that is hit away, and it'll be a throw-in for St. Francis. Goalkeeping situation for St. X. Carly Bledsoe is in the game today and has played all of the time in net for St. Xavier. This ball bouncing and eventually off the head of Dreheim. Brenda Estrada trying to keep the ball in. Instead, it's hit down the line by St. X. Hollander looking for help, and instead it's Harris tracking it down near corner. Blasted away by St. X for a throw-in, but another goalie on this roster, Somaliak, that is Ashley Somaliak, has played 3 games in net for St. X, and now it's Bledsoe who has played 5 games and started 5. Kiki Estrada takes the ball away, but it's taken right back by the Cougars. Physical play in the middle of the field, and drawing a foul was number 11, Alyssa Gilman. Bledsoe, 1.18 goals against average, 37 saves. Somaliak, a 1.86 goals against average and 16 saves. Bledsoe is in net for the 1 victory so far this year for the Cougars. Cross attempt blocked. McDermott, heck of a defensive play there in the near side crowd. Very appreciative. Papalera and eventually Hollander well away. Now De La Rosa has some help, streaking Draheim middle of the field. Pass just a little behind Draheim. That was a great opportunity. Now Katurba into the game for the first time, looking to get some action. Katurba cuts to the inside, has an opening, and eventually stifled by St. X. St. Francis fans looking for a call, but I think that the defender, Hamden, got to the ball first, and it was just a solid defensive play. Ball blasted up and over the bar, and St. X will have a couple of subs coming in. Well,
Zach comes out there, and I'm telling you, Zach's got one you can throw like a lot.
St. Xavier now with a chance in the offensive third. A little bit of room here and a shot blasted high and wide. This one was by Abigail Pepin. Keeley with it.
But was he playing today in Rockford? Why can't I have it?
This weekend, no. Zach played today.
If you just missed that, Casey Harris just hit the crossbar, almost went in for the Saints' second goal of the day. They lead 1-0, does St. Francis. We're just getting word on Diana Lang, who has checked in for St. Xavier. Someone who I was not aware was on the roster, but she is now in the game, so Diana Lang is indeed actually on my program here. Lang into the game for the first time, and it looks like some fireworks off into the distance. I don't know where those are coming from, but there is a couple of them. And actually that's a throw-in for St. Francis on the near side, as St. X wanted to take it. So reset, 25:30 to go. St. Francis with another great opportunity, this time Casey Harris. But this time De La Rosa now trying to find one. Olivia De La Rosa cuts to the inside, cut off by the defender, but keeps it alive. It's Lang, the defender, and blasted off of Lang for a throw-in near side. Pretty good play by De La Rosa there. Katurba plays back for McDermott, looking for Carly Draheim, and instead sent away by Hamden. Harris will take the throw in near side. 13-11 in favor of St. Francis in terms of shots so far in this one. 9-4 shots on goal. Estrada blasts one with the left foot, but it's well wide. One to nothing St. Francis on the goal by Carly Draheim in the first half. You hear another pop from the fireworks going off in the distance, right over the GoFightingSaints.com sign on the left side. University of St. Francis on the left there too, on the top of the far side bleachers. They're kind of sporadic, so it doesn't seem like it's like a fireworks show, just something going on over there. That one down towards downtown Joliet. Hey, there's another one. Maybe there is some kind of show going on downtown Joliet that I'm not aware of. A good show on the field so far for St. Francis, 1-0 on top here in women's soccer action in the CCAC. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside for this edition of St. Francis Women's Soccer. 23 minutes to play, second half. And we're going to stop the clock for a water break. So we'll take a quick timeout here, 22:53 to go here in the second half. We'll have a water break. We'll be right back in about a minute or two with the rest of the second half. Back underway after the short timeout. Under 23 minutes to play, and the Fighting Saints of St. Francis have a 1-0 lead here. The Saints men's soccer team won 2-1, so that's probably what I was thinking of in the back of my mind. Corner kick coming for St. X. Let's see if they can get a scoring opportunity going here. Here comes the corner. Good looking ball to the far post, headed back into the middle, and Kiki Estrada says none of that and clears it away. Nice job by Estrada. right on the spot where she needed to be, and she sends it away. Katurba gets a touch on that one, and she is going to hustle after this one, hoping to get there first. Going to be a close play, but eventually getting there in time was number 9, Dalila Alcala for St. Ags. Olivia De La Rosa touched that one with the arm, and it'll go the other way. CCAC standings as they sat before today's action. There were 6 games around the conference on the docket today. Those games were Olivet Nazarene at Roosevelt, Robert Morris at Trinity Christian, Trinity International at Judson, Holy Cross at Cardinal Stritch, St. X right here against USF, and then of course Calumet St. Joseph at St. Ambrose. St. Francis and St. Xavier atop the conference. Of course, that's only through one game, 1-0 for each team. Along with St. Ambrose, Cardinal Stritch, Olivet Nazarene, and Robert Morris, all at 1-0 in the CCAC coming into today's play. Good-looking ball sent in. Chance for St. Xavier here. Bouncing it out are the Cougars, though. They'll have to reset offensively, and Katurba sweeps in to snag the ball away. Playing up for De La Rosa. Now the St. Francis has some numbers going forward. Down goes Katurba, and foul on St. Xavier will set up a free kick. Referee opting to hold on to that whistle to see if St. Francis could gain advantage, but they did not, and so the whistle blew. Teams that are 0-1 in conference play: Trinity Christian, Trinity International, Holy Cross, Roosevelt, Calumet St. Joseph, and Judson. Interesting to see how the standings fall after today's games, and as we get further and further along into conference play. Ball sent in and didn't even get into the 18-yard box. Quickly there to corral it. It was one of the St. Xavier defenders. Estrada plays for McDermott. Brings it down with the right foot, pass to the far side. And a little shakiness from Hollander. A couple of fakes, but eventually taken away by the team in red. Overall record, St. Ambrose the best in the conference, although St. Francis comes into the day tied for the best in wins. Or correction, second best in wins. Trinity Christian, who lost their first game of the season in conference play, 7-1 on the year, the best overall record in the conference. Next up, 5 wins. St. Francis 5-2-1, and Trinity International 5-3. 2 teams with 5 wins to their credit so far this year. Up to Katurba, looking for some options. Has it in the middle for Harris, and ooh, that one shanked by one of the St. Xavier defenders. Harris running after it, trying to get the corner, and although she didn't get around the corner, she will win a corner for the Saints. And the applause from the near side crowd appreciates the hustle from Harris. Let's see, and she will be rewarded by taking this corner kick. Kick will come with just over 18 minutes to play here in the second half. St. Francis leading 1-0. The approach, here it comes towards the box. Bledsoe, nice play to punch it away. You really have to be fearless as a goalkeeper because you're not looking where you're diving. And you just hope that nothing is there on the other end. And in that case, nothing was on the other end, and Bledsoe was able to clear it away without harm coming to her. Papalera goes down. St. Francis wins the free kick. Teams with 4 wins in overall in the CCAC this year. St. Ambrose 4-1-2. McDermott sends one towards Bledsoe. She comes off her line, and De La Rosa was offside anyway.
Yeah, no, put home screen right.
Harris plays ahead. That's Petrowski in the middle of the field. Back to Harris. Good passing there by the Saints. Harris will get to this one down the line. Ropes one towards the middle. Sent away, but a corner coming once again for the Saints. Before that, though, we'll have a couple of subs coming in. Draheim. Hollander out, Draheim in, corner coming, shot, and oh, it's cleared off the line by a St. Xavier defender. Ball played back into the box. St. Francis has had a lot of opportunities to take a 2-0 lead here and put some separation between them and the Cougars. But St. Xavier has continued to keep themselves in the game, and they might be rewarded for it here. Long ball played ahead. McDermott showing off her speed at defender. Down she goes, and that'll be a foul on St. Xavier. Number 25, Katie Harder, charged for the foul, one of the most recent subs into the game. .15:30 to go. And that was some really, really good speed from McDermott to get back defensively, as that was potentially very dangerous on the counterattack for St. Xavier. The defense will have to continue to play well. The Saints are to win this one. Still just leading 1-0. Carly Draheim with the goal. Almost had her second right there on that shot. Draheim will take this free kick. Senior midfielder from Chesney Park, Illinois, went to Harlem High School. Katurba brings it down, chips one towards goal, and it's easily corralled by Bledsoe. Another counterattack chance for St. Xavier here, but the ball gets slowed up just a bit. St. Francis quickly back defensively. Under 15 minutes to play, second half. St. Francis leading by a score of 1-0. By the way, if you are planning to come out next Saturday, there is a note. I have not posted this online, or I believe, yes we have. We've changed the schedule time. The St. Francis women's soccer game next week will also be changed from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, so we'll follow the men. That will be, as I mentioned, a 6 o'clock start, and that'll be, I believe, against Trinity Christian, and I am correct. Petrowski trying to get a touch on that one, and I think the defender was looking for the keeper to come out, but she did not. Instead, it's played nicely away by the defender. This time, the defender will make way, and Bledsoe will catch this one. That was number 9, Dalila Alcala, who was the one to come out and play those two balls for St. Xavier on the back line. 13 minutes to go. St. Francis holding on to a 1-0 lead. Petrowski near side. Sends it towards the middle. Blocked. Out of play. Corner kick coming, St. Francis. This time it'll be Draheim near side. She's switched off with Harris in terms of who takes the free kicks today, or the corner kicks, I should say. 12:30 to go. Draheim sends it towards the far post. Good ball. Katurba can't quite get her leg up high enough. I think she was stuck between, in between place, header or take a shot, and it ended up being right in between and went right through both. So Katurba unable to get a shot off the corner.
Now he's not going to be able to hear it.
What's going on, man?
Favorite needs fixed it.
Under 12 minutes to play. Saints holding on 1-0. And we'll get a whole bunch of subs. On such a hot day, it's not surprising to see so many subs come in, trying to keep fresh bodies on the field. St. Xavier still looking for that game-tying goal. Now sitting with under 11 minutes to play, 1-0 St. Francis on the first half goal by Carly Draheim. St. Xavier trying to knot up the score, but it's cleared away by the St. Francis defense. This is where you wonder if the perhaps not as many subs for the Saints could come back to bite them. We'll see. Harris just sends this one all the way down across the end line. Pass was a little too far out in front of her, and instead of giving up the throw-in, she'll end up giving up something else, and it looks like Bethany Domkowski helping out on the bench, throwing some water out to Harris. Make sure everybody stays hydrated. It is very warm still, despite it being really pitch black at night. Besides the lights lighting up the field below us, it's still got to be in the 80s. Setting records for temperature all across the Midwest. And I heard up in Sheboygan, Wisconsin today, it was in the 90s, and that was a record. Here, have to imagine it was a record as well. We've had water breaks in each half, which certainly helped the Saints. Nice pass up for Katurba. Katurba looking for Petrowski. She's onside. Petrowski trying to get there first. Bledsoe is there. Oh, what a great chance. And the St. Francis crowd very appreciative on the near side. They liked that play, but just a little too far, intended for Petrowski. Now St. X perhaps with a chance. Keeley can't come off her line for this one. St. Xavier plays it down. Here's a shot that's blocked, and it'll be a corner coming up. No, it'll be a goal kick. So I guess another touch was made. Katurba heads out. Hollander back onto the field. Trying to see who took that shot. At least took a chance at it for St. Xavier. I believe it was number 17, Alexis Espinosita Liga. The shot that ended up wide. I thought it was blocked initially from up here, but referees certainly have a better look than I do. Ball popped up into the air. Keeley off her line, and she can't quite make the catch, and eventually she does corral it. But there were 4 or 5 jerseys in the area. Eventually, the one in gold, and that's the one that matters for the Saints, was able to corral it. 8 minutes to play, just over that. Here in the second half, Saints holding on to a 1-0 lead. They've had a couple of great chances to go up by multiple goals, but have been unable to capitalize.
But that's not the way you play. No, it doesn't really matter. I'm winning. The way I play is I win.
Free kick, far side. Kiki Estrada. Throw in for St. Xavier as the ball goes out of bounds. And once again, slowly inching their way up the field are the Cougars, and we'll have another sub for St. X. Chance for St. Xavier, but the shot goes well wide. That time the shot by Alyssa Gilman, the forward from Oak Forest, a sophomore. St. Francis looking to hold on to that lead, but St. Xavier has pushed hard here in the last 10 minutes or so. Put their shot total up to 13, but still they do not have a shot on goal here in the second half. Still stuck at 4 shots on goal. Another chance. This one looking good, and Keeley is fighting with it for the ball. She has to quickly get back to her goal, and she does, but Keeley was at least able to stop the attack, and now Petrowski called for a foul, much to the dismay of the near side crowd. And it'll be a free kick. This is almost exactly the spot where Carly Draheim scored the only goal of the game to this point. Keeley did a nice job there of at least stopping the attack. And now here comes a free kick for St. Xavier. And it's just hit towards goal and wide. Looks like a little talking to from the middle official, and after that play, not sure what the deal was there, but under 5 minutes to play now, and the Saints have a 1-0 lead, looking to hold on to get to 2-0 in conference play and match the men's soccer team, which moved to 2-0 in conference play earlier today with a victory over St. Xavier's men's side. And we're going to stop the clock here. It looks like we're going to get our first yellow card, and this is Brenda Estrada. So yellow card charged to Brenda Estrada. 4:42 to go and another chance at a free kick. And once again there to take it, Brooke Madrich. Back underway, Madrich towards goal. Keeley there. Simple save. First shot on goal of the second half for St. Xavier. They have run their total up to 15, just one behind the 16 attempted by St. Francis so far today. But if this offensive onslaught continues, the Saints are holding on by a thread here. It is Brenda Estrada's first yellow card of the season, just the third on the year for the Saints as a team. Hollander, nice job to send that one away as she came on for a little extra defense, replacing Martina Katurba not too long ago. Ball played ahead, another chance for St. Xavier until Keeley slides and makes the play. That's not going to feel good when it comes to turf burn later, but it feels good on the scoreboard as she keeps the game scoreless. Free kick, St. Francis, middle of the field, 3:30 to go. 1-0 lead for the Saints. Looking to hold on. Played short to Harris. Nice move around the defender. And then Harris blasts one towards goal, but wide. 3 minutes to go. Fighting Saints 1, St. Xavier 0 so far. Still a lot of time left in this game, and St. Xavier has had better of the chances here in the last 10 minutes or so. Harris has some options. Petrowski near side. Looking to run off some clock with some possession. Petrowski running into a double team. Gets it away. And eventually whistle comes. Foul on St. Xavier. And a free kick chance for the Fighting Saints. 40 yards out. Harris lines it up. Chips it to the left side of the box. Sent in on a shot by Hollander and wide. 2 minutes to go. St. Xavier trying for one last attempt to tie the score. St. Francis leading 1-0. Hollander heads it right back in. De La Rosa finds Draheim, who is offside. Third offsides called on St. Francis so far today. Another chance for Bledsoe to get rid of it. Nice job of leading the far side player. Get around Brittany Cook, but the play was out of bounds, and a throw-in for St. Francis. 90 seconds to play. St. Francis that close to a second conference victory in a row and 2 home games coming up. Nice place to be if you're the Fighting Saints. De La Rosa running back for this one. Ball will be played back to the keeper, but St. Xavier needs to get something going offensively with just over a minute to play. One minute to go. Bledsoe picks it up. St. Xavier maybe time for one last chance. Clearing it up towards midfield. Nice job by McDermott to head the ball down, and Hollander sweeps it away. Final 45 seconds. Saints clinging on to a 1-0 advantage. Maybe one last chance for the Cougars. Not to be, except a whistle and a foul and a free kick coming. Gotta bring it quick. 30 seconds to go. It's hit towards goal. It's a good-looking ball, and it scores. It's a goal. On the free kick, near side, number 10, Jillian Doan ties the score with 19 seconds to go. No assist on that one. For Doan, it's her first of the year, and it was just a quick free kick that got by Keeley. And one last chance perhaps for the Saints. Hollander's shot is blocked. Final 10 seconds ticking off, and that will do it. We will head to overtime. So the last goal with 19 seconds on the clock gives St. Xavier life, and we head to overtime coming up right after this. Welcome to overtime. 2 10-minute overtimes, gold. Corner kick coming for St. Xavier.
Touch!
Here it comes towards the far post and way off of the goal line, up north towards the 18-yard box, and eventually cleared up into the air by St. Xavier, still in play. Remember, the Cougars have had the better of the play probably for the last 20 minutes or so. Saints 19 shots, St. Xavier 16. St. Xavier had 2 shots on goal in the last 15 minutes of the second half, and one of them, the one from Doan, found the net to tie the score at 1 heading into this first overtime. Here's Petrowski in the middle of the field, has options, tries to chip up for De La Rosa. That one could be a little too far, and it will be. And it'll be a goal kick for Bledsoe coming up. Headed up into the air by Hollander. She continues to head it towards herself, but instead it's away by St. Xavier. Throw in coming for the Saints' far side. Halfway through the first overtime session. 5 minutes to play. Remember, it is a golden goal scenario. First goal wins the game. Neither team scores in the 2 10-minute overtimes, then we'll have to call it a tie. That one cleared away by St. Xavier. Will it go over the end line? Yes, it will. Corner coming for St. Francis.
Hey, let's do it!
Draheim to take it. Saints have been dangerous on set pieces here in the last 3 or 4 games. Draheim winds. Shoots it towards the near post, back by Petrowski, and nobody home for the Saints, and it's drilled away. Oh, Petrowski had a chance to touch it at the near post. If I was her, I may have just let that one go. That one might have gone inside the near post, but Petrowski tries to flick it back for an option, and nobody was home for the Saints. 4 minutes to go here in the first overtime, and we're still deadlocked at 1. Starting goalkeepers, Keeley and Bledsoe still in for St. Francis. De La Rosa tries to chip one up, and instead it's deflected out of bounds. Nice to see St. Francis in the attacking third if you are a Saints fan. It's been a little while since the Saints have had good opportunities in the attacking third. Petrowski chips it ahead, looking for Draheim. Couldn't get it all the way to her. Defended well. And now De La Rosa has the ball back and again cleared away. A couple of real nice plays from Brooke Maderich, the defender for St. Francis, or excuse me, St. Xavier. Adriana Hernandez back into the game for St. Xavier. Ball chipped ahead, up into the air. Petrowski brings it down, looking for De La Rosa, and she has some room in front of her. De La Rosa, first touch, a little too far, but she keeps advantage. De La Rosa down the sideline, looking for some help, and instead, it's a goal kick, I believe, coming. Ooh, De La Rosa with a good opportunity there, but just could not quite corral it enough to get a shot or a pass to the middle. Draheim was streaking in, unable to find her, and 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go, first overtime, still tied at 1. Still looking for our first shot of the overtime period. Saints outshot St. Xavier 9-8 in the first half and 10-8 in the second half. Corner kicks 11-2 in favor of St. Francis, but St. Francis has not been able to convert on any of their corner kicks so far today. High bouncing ball, Keeley misplays it slightly and then just shoves off the attacker, Gilman, who is coming in. Petrowski wins the ball near side, has De La Rosa to her right, and her second touch is a little too far, blasted away by St. X. Down goes Kiki Estrada, and we get a clock stoppage. Yellow card coming for... That'll be St. Xavier's Jillian Doan, the goal scorer, who gets a yellow card here. Kiki Estrada will get us back underway. Clock rolling. Under 2 minutes to play, first overtime. Headed toward, passes back for De La Rosa, who tries to take a shot, but it's blocked, and it's sent away by St. Xavier. Excuse for cutting out there for just a second. It seems that we lost our connection for just a moment, but we are back on the air now. Still in the overtime session, and the final 10 seconds of the first overtime will tick away. I promise didn't miss any shots or anything of that nature. And Harris will just blast one from distance, and it doesn't quite get there in time. And we will head to the second overtime session here in just a bit. 2 minutes is all that separates us for overtime number 2. Here that you're watching St. Francis Women's Soccer. Overtime number 2 is underway here at HCI Field. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside this edition of St. Francis Women's Soccer, as the St. Francis Women's Soccer team sort of stunned after leading for, must have been 70 minutes or so. St. Xavier got the game-tying goal with 20 seconds left in regulation. A near side free kick, actually very similar to the one that Carly Draheim scored for the Saints on in the first half. Similar spot and a similar shot that the two teams have scored. And so the Saints of St. Francis now tied with the Cougars of St. Xavier 1-1. That goal coming with just 20 seconds left on the clock. And we have one more 10-minute overtime session to go. If neither team scores, then we will call it a 1-1 tie. The Saints in the offensive third did a pretty good job attacking in that first overtime, looking to build on that momentum here in the second overtime. And a corner kick coming for St. Francis. Another chance to score on a set piece. This will be the 12th corner for St. Francis today. Normally very good on set pieces. The Saints haven't scored on a corner kick yet today. Did score on a set piece on a free kick early in the game. Here's a chance. Headed towards goal. Oh, but it's saved. Draheim with the header. And it was right into the arms of Bledsoe, the keeper for St. X. Nice play by Kiki Estrada, the last line of defense. And somebody was offside for St. Francis. There's a minute 45 seconds into the second overtime session. Saints in the white, St. Xavier in the red. Papalera clears it off of a St. Xavier player. Throw in coming, McDermott. And we'll have a stoppage. I'm not sure what this is all about. But it looks like the near side official is chatting the middle official here, and the official's going to run all the way over to the right side. I'm not entirely sure what's going on right now, but I guess we'll find out here in a second. Oh, it seems that the goal was pushed back a little bit. You know, that may have been pushed back from Harris's shot that went off the crossbar in the second half.
That's your best call in the game.
And so play will resume here in just a second. 7:49 to go. Back underway. Second overtime session. 10 minutes for one team to score if they want to win this game. Foul on St. Xavier, and we're going to bring it back and redo the free kick as the Saints tried to move it quickly. Kiki Estrada heads it back towards the offensive half. Now Papalera safely brings it down. Papalera sends one ahead. Draheim brings it down, looks to find De La Rosa, who a little physical in the back there by the defender, but then cleared over the far sideline for a throw-in for the Cougars. Three to 1 so far in favor of St. Francis in terms of shots in overtime. 22 to 17 overall in the contest. Nice cut to the inside. St. Xavier with a chance here. Nobody home offensively in the middle of the box. And Brenda Estrada with the big clear. Just over 6 minutes to play on a hot, humid night. Feels a lot more like summer than the second day of fall here at ATI Field. Petrowski trying to get some momentum going the other way. Gets tripped up, keeps possession, sends it up for De La Rosa down the line. St. Xavier will tip it out of bounds, and a throw in coming for St. Francis. See if they play quickly. They do. Middle of the field. Harris is wide open. Harris, look out, rips a shot, but didn't quite hit it cleanly. That's a 6th shot for Harris. She is tied for the team lead with Carly Draheim, the goal scorer for St. Francis. Both goals coming off of free kicks on the left goal from the left side, about 35 yards out. Basically the same or very similar location, very different shots, however, as the Draheim shot was one that actually bounced a couple of times before it found the goal. And then on the opposing side, Jillian Doe just drilled a free kick from 35 yards out that just got over the outstretched arms of Jessica Keeley. Ball played up the near sideline. Papalera chasing after it until it goes over the end line. 4.5 minutes to play, second overtime. Saints and Cougars battling it out.
Come on, Red, hang in there.
Doan comes off, the goal scorer for St. Xavier. Estrada, and play on, says the official, with the Saints advantage. Harris, nice cut to the inside, looking for options and eventually stifled, except not quite. De La Rosa keeps it going. Harris, far side. One tough effort for the Saints here, playing towards the middle. Draheim can't get a touch. Nice play by Bledsoe to keep this game level at 1. Foul on the St. Xavier will set up the Saints in a dangerous area with a free kick. Just over 35 yards out. Harris will be the one to take it. This is a long way to take one on goal. Harris is known to do this and take it on frame, but this one's a long one. Straight on, Harris winds up, fires towards goal, and that one's going to sail over the bar. Good attempt by Harris, but that one a little too high, and Bledsoe knew it all the way. Just let it sail by. 3 minutes to go, second overtime. Saints and Cougars. St. Xavier's only in the game because of a last-second goal in regulation. But they were knocking on the door for 15 minutes or so, and I'm not surprised they were able to find the net. McDermott thinks about it. Now sends a pass upfield, and it bounces over the near sideline for a throw-in. Less than 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in overtime number 2. Both teams looking for the decider. Goal kick coming for Bledsoe. 2 minutes to go, second overtime. 1-1 tie score. Draheim and Doan on free kicks, the 2 goal scorers for each team. 1 for each squad, 1-1 tie score. St. Francis first half, St. Xavier with 20 seconds to go in regulation. Throw in one, St. Xavier far side. St. Xavier throw in just over 1 minute to play in the attacking third. Ball played down. Sent to the middle. Chance for St. X to take a shot here. Here comes the shot, it's high. Never had a chance. Well over the bar. And now under a minute to play. 2 balls on the field. And Kiki Estrada sends that one away. Saints maybe one last chance. 40 seconds to go. Petrowski trying to keep the ball in play. Cannot. 2 bodies go tumbling over far side. St. Xavier wins the throw-in. And that could just do it for this game unless St. Xavier can get up the field in 30 seconds, take a shot. Let's see what they can do. Another throw in, St. Xavier. They're going to have to hustle here. They need a ball to come in. Here it comes. 20 seconds, under 20. 15 seconds, last ditch attempt. Looks like St. Xavier is going to let this one run out. 10 seconds left. And let's see, final 5 seconds. Looks like neither team will get a shot away. And this game ends in a tie. And the Saints really stunned in this one. Final score, St. Francis 1, St. Xavier 1. 24-18, the Saints led in shots. 13-7 shots on goal. St. Francis took 12 corners, but were unable to capitalize on any of them today. St. Xavier took 2 corners in the game. Carly Draheim and Jillian Doan, the goal scorers today. Doan in the final 20 seconds of regulation to really stun St. Francis as they come back to tie the score and eventually bring this game to a draw. Thank you for tuning into this broadcast. I'm Luke Tanaka saying so long from ATI Field. Final score, it ends in a draw, 1-1.